right, you're welcome back. It's Midweek Politics, and of course, you are listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Victor Achibong, like I did say. Okpeyemi Akinyode is not going to be on seats, neither would Said Fuad be on seat as well. But not to worry, it promises to be an interesting time here. And of course, I have a guest who is going to be joining me on the show via call, someone that needs no introduction. But before I do mention his name, let me just quickly take us through on what we're going to be talking about. First, we're going to be getting reactions. Of course, so many persons have been reacting to the president's speech, the independent speech. Like I said the other time, like every other speeches he has made ever since he assumed office, reactions have been coming right, left, and center. But we're going to be looking basically at the youth confab that the president did mention when he said that it's not going to leave the youth behind. It's an inclusive government. So the youth are going to be brought into the picture, are coming into the picture to ensure that nation building is achieved. We're going to look at that as well, look at the protest issue. Yes, remember they said they were going to go on protest, but how far were they? It was pocket of protest we saw all over. Now, when we leave that conversation, we'll go also to the conversation of the Port Harcourt refinery. For the 7th time, it has failed to produce. It has failed to come back to life. And this is the 7th time since it was first promised in 2019 that all the refineries in Nigeria are going to be working. We'll leave that conversation and then we go to another conversation involving the Kaduna State House of Assembly ad hoc committee as well as El-Rufai. It's been a roller coaster of conversation. The allegation of misappropriation of funds up to the tune of 423 billion naira that is being pegged on El-Rufai. El-Rufai says that if you allow me, I will swear with the Quran to prove my innocence. And is serious about that particular matter. And then we'll move to PDP and what PDP is saying to Wike's ally in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, that this is not a one-man's business. It's not a one-man's enterprise. If time permits us, we're going to be having all of this conversation. This is just 10 minutes past 1. And of course, like I did say, our guest joining us today is none other than Barrister Curtis Adiba. Yes, via the call. Yes, he's going to be joining me. Hello, Barrister, are you there?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Oh, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Even though we know this is not your usual forte, you come on Sundays, but we just look for a way, or we have a way of, asking you to just do one little more for us. I want to say thank you very much for accepting this offer, this call.
Thanks for having me.
All right, sir. Now let's go straight to business as we have just about 50 minutes to have this conversation with you. The president made the speech yesterday, the independent speech, and compared to what Nigerians are asking for, if you go through the first paragraph of that speech, yes, people would say that the introduction of that particular speech sounded like the president indeed has the interests of the people at heart, because he kept hammering on, we feel the sufferings, the pains of a lot of Nigerians, and this administration is doing everything within its capacity to see that they bring a lot of Nigerians out of the poverty line. But from your perspective, listening to the president yesterday and going through that speech over and over and over, do you think that the president, through that speech, addressed the major issues affecting Nigerians?
Okay, thanks for having me once more. When the president of any country sets out to give a speech on a consequential day like the Independence or Democracy Day, as we have it here also, you expect that the president is going to hit some very high notes and try to inspire and rally the country alongside with him and his programs. And so that was the expectation from a lot of Nigerians yesterday. And I think that speech did not tick all the boxes. In fact, it didn't tick any serious box for me. I poured over that speech so many times. Basically, was a regurgitation of all the talking points from his previous speeches. There was nothing that was new other than the youth conference. But then you ask yourself, the youth conference, what is the constitutional framework? Don't forget we're a constitutional democracy. And then, just like we had constitutional conferences in the past that did not anchor the Constitution and became useless, just putting on shelves, waiting away. So, under what constitutional framework is this president going to anchor the youth conference? You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Now, how is it impossible for him to use the administration that he leads to integrate the youth into the system? That's not impossible. Why does he need a conference to achieve that? Now, and I think the president is also very heavy on data. And I think that is because of his speechwriters don't understand the depth of the pains and the problems and the challenges that exist in this country. It's very easy for the president to say, I feel your pain, I know what you are going through, in words. But then in action, he does the opposite. How does the president feel our pain? How has he expressed that feeling? Has he cut down the cost of governance? What has he done in recent times to show that, look, the pain he has inflicted upon Nigerians, he's also going through it? All we have heard are purchase of new aircraft, renovations running into billions of naira. Let me tell you, Mr. President, if you want to show me that you feel my pain, I want you to cut down on the luxuries of your government. And let me give you a very practical example. You have about 10 aircraft in the presidential fleet. Decommission them today and commercialize them. Let them be making money for the country. When you need to travel, one can be commandeered and prepared for your trip. No country that is facing the kind of economic crisis that we are facing runs on different private jets of public officials. France is a country with a bigger economy. The French president does not have a designated aircraft. Whenever he's traveling, they commandeer an Air France flight. The Queen of England and now the King, bigger economy again, they do not have. We just copied from America. We don't have that kind of economy. Look at all the state governors. Have you seen any of their convoys of late? Look at the convoy of the Speaker. Look at the convoy of the Deputy President of the Senate. Look at the convoy of the President of the Senate. In fact, you have more Lexus and Land Cruiser SUV in Nigeria than you have them in Japan, where these things are manufactured. You see a convoy of one governor, he has about 13 SUVs, all armored. So how do you say you understand and feel the pains of the people? Many households today cannot afford to feed. You will introduce increased tariff for electricity. You have increased the cost of petrol. These are common things that the ordinary folks used to get by. If they cannot pay for electricity, they cannot carry out economic activities. If they cannot buy fuel to their vehicles, how do they move around? Even for taxis, so many taxis have been decommissioned because they can no longer cope.
Barrister Curtis.
Yes.
Barrister Curtis, let me read a line out here from the president's speech. He said that over 6 decades, we can look back and Nigerians worldwide can see how well we have succeeded in realizing the lofty dreams of our founding fathers. And he went further to say that the world is witnessing and benefiting from the can-do spirits of Nigerians and the Nigerian people. He went further to say that our massive intellectual capacity and our enterprise and industry in all vocations, from arts to science, technology to infrastructure, and so many, all of these are there. That the dreams that our founding fathers envisaged are still a work in progress. It's 64 years. At first, it sounded like Nigeria as a country is doing extremely well when the world looks at us. And then he said it's still a work in progress. But 64 years. So many persons have argued that at 64 we are supposed to be flying and not crawling, like some people say.
Well, look, I think the fact that he said we have done well and we are still a work in progress, these things are not exclusive in themselves.
Okay.
In other words, you cannot have both of them together. America is over 235 years. And they are still talking about working towards a more perfect union. Do you understand? But here is the fallacy of the president's statement. This country has not done anything well. We have not moved an inch. In fact, we have been going back. I don't know how old you are, sir.
I'm above 40, sir.
Right. In the 80s and 90s, right? Before we got into this so-called corrosive experience called democracy. Do you remember that in most cities of Nigeria we have pipe-borne water?
Absolutely.
So where is the pipe-borne water today? Do you remember that students in those days, while looking forward to graduation, they were also expecting to be given car loans and housing loans? Merit drove how you access opportunity in those days. The children of the poor and of the rich can attend the same school. Do you remember that?
Very true.
That we had better roads. We had scholarships for our students, both locally and internationally, right? There was basically very low unemployment. But then and these guys who achieved these things didn't talk so much about what they have accomplished. Then we have these people who are noise makers from 1999 up until now. They are the ones who blow their trumpet the loudest. So when he says we have done so well, I consider to him in the sense that wherever you find Nigeria, whether it's in the United States where Nigerians are the most educated, ethnic minority, or in Germany, in Russia, wherever you go, you find, even in the armed forces, when the armed forces go on peacekeeping missions, the police, they end up excelling. But when they come home, we have a gated estate community that repairs intellectuality, that repairs competence. You have to be somehow and in a particular mode before you can get into government because of the kind of system that they have built. Democracy is supposed to be an integrated community. But what they have built in Nigeria is a gated community. It's either you have the access code to go in, or somebody gives you the access code and it takes you in. Look at our policies from 1999 up until now. How many are new to the process that we have today? And you see, when the current leadership blame the past, I'll just sit there and be laughing. From 1999 up until now, this president and most of his lieutenants have played key and consequential roles in what Nigeria has become today.
In the previous administrations?
Yes. Even in the last administration, he was the party leader and nominated ministers.
And so there is no way he would say he is not aware of what Nigerians are going or Nigeria is passing through.
But you know what they want to do? They want to cut and lose. They appropriate and they reprobate at the same time. When it suits them, then they hug the achievement of the last administration that was formed by their own party. When it doesn't, then they tell you, oh, Nigeria was in a terrible state. This president is trying to reclaim the country. The country was never lost.
Barrister Curtis, because of time, let's quickly go down into the conversation of the youth confab. If we remember vividly, the last time we had a conference in this country was in 2014, if my history serves me right, and that was the one that was done under the administration of the former president Goodluck Jonathan. And there were so many issues that were raised, like the devolution of power, the fiscal sharing formula, the local government autonomy, and so many others. Now, up until this very time, especially in the area of the local government autonomy, nothing was done about it. But so far, we have seen changes in that regard. But coming down to the youth conference, we've also heard from the Minister of Youth, and Development, Dr. Jamila Ibrahim Bio, saying that the president is keen on having 30% youth inclusivity in his administration. And there's going to be a 30-day confab talking to the youth, how the youth can be the next brain, the next future, the tomorrow, the leader who will help build this nation. How significant is this move? Like you said, that is the only new thing in the president's speech when he addressed the nation yesterday. So how significant is this to nation building?
Okay, so let me tell you this. Of course, you talked about the previous experiment, right? We had a constitutional conference that was anchored by the late General Sani Abacha. Nothing came out of it. We had another one, I think before Jonathan, I think there was one by Obasanjo also. And all of them suffered the same fate. Why? Because there was no constitutional or legal framework that gave them any bite. I remember vividly during the 2014 one, where Pastor Tunde Bakare was one of the delegates, where he talked about the fact that some of their recommendations were low-hanging fruit, that the president could implement them without a constitutional amendment. But he didn't do anything about it because some have argued that, the conference just came at about the time the election was upon us. Of course, the president knew the election was upon us when he called for the conference. I think he was using it as bargaining chip, that if you do re-elect me, back to power, I'm going to implement this. And people saw through that quickly. But having said that, that conference also suffered the same fate because there was no legal framework. It was against the Constitution, right? Even the move of choosing people to attend that conference was problematic. It was Senator Tᴏɪᴛᴛᴇʀ that the then president chose to pilot the assembly of that constitutional conference. And then they handpicked individuals that they felt, liked them and was going to play their agenda card. I remember vividly that the late Yinka Odumake and his wife from one household were members of that constitutional assembly, when most Nigerians cannot get it. And let me tell you what is going to happen here. The youth conference is simply going to be the gathering. It's not going to be anything more than the gathering of APC youth. Youth that his sons will select, and some of the political gladiators will select because of the allowances that they are going to take. Nothing is going to come out of the youth summit or youth conference. You don't need a youth conference to know what the youth in this country needs today. Go to other parts of the world. How many youth conferences have I had before they are addressing the needs of the youth? You know that the young people need employment, don't you?
Very true.
Do you need a conference? To create jobs for them? Mm-hmm. You know that they need to go to school, right? Now, yes, you have promoted education scholarship, education funds, but what can the amount of money you are granting to these students, what can it really achieve? Given the inflation that we have in the country today, most of these students can't even go to private universities. And it should be something there to decide where they want to go. And even the public universities, look at the way lecturers are running away from this university. And it is true. When people say, if you want to ensure that the country does not make progress in life, kill the educational system. Joe Biden, the wife of the current president of the United States, said something. She said that if they are our educators, then we have developers. If you take away private educational institutions today, education is basically dead in Nigeria. So I don't understand, beyond the rhetoric and beyond the fact that this president wants to show that it's youth-centric. There is nothing that is going. This is just another basic opportunity for identified APC youth to go and get some largesse from the federal government. It's not even needed in the first place.
All right, you're listening to Midweek Politics on Mainland 98.3 FM. My guest, of course, is Barrister Curtis Adigba. A lot of times you would have heard his voice on Sundays during Political Roundtable with Said Fuad. And like I said, Okpayemi Akinyode is not with me. He's not joining me today. Neither is Said Fuad. But then Barrister Curtis is here. And we are looking at some of the issues that we have brought before the table this afternoon. We've talked about the president's speech that he gave yesterday, the independence speech, and also looking at the possibility of the youth confab that the president is proposing, a 30 days youth conference for Nigerian youth, so that the nation building, story or journey would be achieved. Well, we get to see how that is going to pan out eventually. Other conversation that we're going to be looking at quickly because of time is the story surrounding the Port Harcourt refinery. Barrister Curtis, this is the 7th time that we are going to see another failure of the rollout of productivity or production of the Port Harcourt refinery. Let's not forget that we were told that by September 17th or thereabout that it will start producing fuel for Nigerians to use. And this is October. This whole conversation started sometimes in 2019. In fact, just recently when the group chief executive officer of NNPCL, Mele Kyari, stood before the other committee to address them, he categorically said that all the refineries by December will begin to work. All the refineries will start producing. Unfortunately, we are not seeing anything from Port Harcourt refinery. Now, it now looks like this is one thing that is being sold to Nigerians, give it to them, and they will take it like that. The misinformation, the lies, and all of that. How do we salvage this nation from this kind of situation where all we get to hear is failed promises?
Oh, okay, so one of the reasons why there was a big fight over the Tğğᴜ refinery is what we are hearing. It's one of the reasons why we cannot. Nigerians will not allow a private entity built by loans from banks to operate as a private entity. That's why the NNPC is extending her hand and trying to take over the Tğğᴜ refinery and regulate their pricing mechanism. When you live in a country where there are no consequences for action, this is the kind of thing you get. You mentioned that this is the 7th time that they have not come through based on their own promises. And the irony of the whole thing is that even when they are lying, telling lies, and we know that they are telling lies, the lies that they themselves don't believe in, they want us to believe that they are telling the truth. And when we point this out to them, then they say you hate government, you are not patriotic, you don't support your country. And the question I want to ask you, who are the beneficiaries of this contract over the years, the turnaround maintenance contract in NNPC? Who are the beneficiaries? And if they have been paid to do a specific job, and they have not done the job and they have been paid, who has been held to account? All that happens is every time this happens, the NNPC will just explain it away. They'll tell you, give us 2-3 weeks. Port Harcourt refinery will start meeting local needs. It doesn't happen. The NNPC group managing director retains his position. The contractor moves on with the billions of dollars that he has been paid.
Okay.
And nothing. And Nigerians are left with the short side of the stick. So long as nobody gets punished and there are no consequences for this thing, this is what we are going to keep hearing. And for the president, I think he lacks the political courage or the way.
As the Minister of Petroleum.
As the Minister of Petroleum. So when I heard that the president was considering tweaking his cabinet, the first thing that came to my mind is that I hope he also remove himself as the Minister of Petroleum. Because that minister has got to be the worst performer right now in this current government.
I think I also heard word by Onanuga said that he's not so sure when it's going to take place, because by now Nigerians were thinking that Mr. President would have reshuffled his cabinet and also let Nigerians in on how much are we going to be buying the Dangote fuel. This is the second day in the month of October, and we don't know how much you're going to be buying that fuel.
My brother, let me tell you. Why does the president need to inform us ahead of time that he wants to take his cabinet? All the ministers go their offices at his pleasure. Do you understand? This is just a continuation of the show. Information to distract from the reality, the truth of the situation of majority of our citizens. Because they don't have anything new to tell you. Look at the speech, all he was talking about, the ways and means debt, the GDP. These things have no real impact on people's lives. What is the meaning of GDP to a man who cannot put food on the table for his own children? Any GDP that does not reflect the living conditions of the people is nothing beyond the GDP in the alphabet is expressing. Is that how all of them in government are living? Are they struggling to eat? Have you seen the dining table of any of our top public officials? If one meal time, you have over 20 soup on one dining table and different kind of food. So who are they deceiving? And then the group managing director, the man that should have been thrown under the bus, lost his job for incompetence. He sits there speaking grammar and inflicting more pain on the people. If the Port Harcourt refinery, after spending billions of naira to turn it around, has turned around, and today there is competition between the Port Harcourt refinery and Dangote, don't you think that we'll be in the better place?
Nigerians will have a lot of products.
Yes, but they are all focused on Dangote, and they are telling Dangote, so you cannot dedicate everything to local consumption. You also have to export, and then we can import to supplement. Because there are no consequences. Nigerians are not even asking basic questions.
As a result of this, Barrister Curtis, as a result of this, a senior advocate of Nigeria, with all of this back and forth on when the Port Harcourt refinery will start production or will be rebirthed, because right now it looks like it's been long dead. So the senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has written to two contractors, Tᴡɪᴛᴛᴇʀ SPA and Saipem Contracting Nigeria Limited, to request information on the completion date for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt, Warri and the Kaduna refineries. Now, as part of its findings, it was able to realize that Tᴡɪᴛᴛᴇʀ was given $1.5 billion. Same goes for the SPA, $1.5 billion to bring back to life the refineries. While the other two refineries in Port Harcourt was given to Mere, the other two of Warri and Kaduna was given to SPA. Now, one of the things the senior advocate wanted to find out is when exactly will these refineries come back to life. He didn't write to NNPCL, but he wrote to the contractors. And expectantly, we are hoping that today being the second day in the month of October, that letter written sometimes on the 17th and the 24th of September should have been replied by the two contractors. So ahead of the replies from these contractors that have been given that job to revive our refineries, are you expecting anything? What exactly do you think that can come out of this in terms of their response?
You know, my senior learned colleague, Femi Falana, knows how to inject himself into stories so that they can be heard. I mean, in what capacity, other than the citizen of this country, the contractors won't even answer him. He didn't give them any job. The only thing they can do is to go to court under the Freedom of Information Act and then trying to force them into giving him that information for public consumption. Do you understand?
True.
Other than that, what do you think his letter will accomplish? In a country where people care about transparency, These are information that you don't even have to go to court to get. But of course, we have said that the NMCC is the most opaque institution in this country. They don't do audit, they don't audit their accounts. They don't tell you how much they have earned. They only talk about how much they spend. So I wish Tᴜɪ̀ᴜnᴜ at the very best, but I don't think anything will come out of it later with the contractors. In fact, it is those in government that will tell the contractors to ignore him.
Well, as part of the story here, it says that the senior advocate made the request under the Freedom of Information Act, which gives the contractors 7 days within which to respond to his letter. But I think you said it all, and we just hope and see what is going to come out of that. Anyways, if you're watching or you're listening, we are streaming live on our Facebook, which is at Mainland 98.3 FM. You can also drop your comments. We've talked about the president's speech, and now we're looking at the refinery issue. Don't forget, part of the conversation is the youth confab, which was an addition to the president's speech. He made the speech yesterday, and he said this is what they are going to do to bring the youths of Nigerians into the picture. He believes that we have a lot to offer, and it will be very, very sad that most of this youth will just be allowed to go without using or making use of the gifts or talents that they are blessed with. And also the refinery, Port Harcourt refinery, I can tell you this is the 7th time, and it's nothing to write home about. We've been promised several times by NNPCL that it is going to be into food production, but we don't get to see anything of such. And right now we're moving into another conversation as we are still discussing with Barrister Curtis, so that we can make bread out of this conversation. Don't forget, on the dot of 2 p.m. we're going to open the phone line for you for your reaction. So people don't go nowhere. Stay with us. You're going to talk about it as well. So it's going to be a whole 1 hour of you talking and reacting. Your messages can be dropped on Facebook, also on WhatsApp and text messages. Make use of all of the platforms that we have so that we can do the conversation holistically. Barrister, let's go down to Kaduna State now, where we know of the story involving the former governor of the state, Nasir El-Rufai. And it's about the 423 billion naira fraud that has been kind of pegged on him, as alleged that they mismanaged such money. And as a result of that, it's been from one court case to another. And at some points, through the lawyers or the counsel of Nasir El-Rufai, they've requested that such case should be swept under the carpet. But we still see the case. It's still right there and waiting to know when exactly the court is going to take full action. But there was something he said when he was, in a TV program in his state. He said that he doesn't mind if given the opportunity that he's going to swear through the Quran that he's innocent. He did not mismanage money, that any form of corruption that is linked to his name, that they are not true, that he believes so much in the sanctity of his office when he was the governor of the state, and that all of this, up to this very moment, none could be traced or said that this is how the money was used and this is how the money got missing, and that is coming from Nasir El-Rufai. Barrister, how do you react to his statements as regards this allegation of 423 billion naira?
Okay, so first and foremost, I don't believe any public officer, any public official in Nigeria have not stolen from the government. I think it depends on the degree of the malfeasance. But to completely say I did not steal a dime or anything from the government, I don't believe that. That's one. Number two, if you are accused of corruption, you go to the court and defend the allegation.
Okay.
Right. It's not the Quran that you would swear. Quran is the personal conviction thing. Religion is about your conviction as an individual, right? So if El-Rufai is so sure that he has not done anything wrong, he should go to the court and clear his name. And I think that is what the assembly people are trying to do. By making these allegations against him, All he needs to do is to go there, is to go there simply and clear his name. No, this whole talk about I can swear to the Quran and all that, or I can swear to the Bible, we know. Do you know of any public official in this country, either as a senator or the president or the vice president or minister, who did not take the oath of allegiance and the oath of office by holding on to the Bible or the Quran? Have they not abused this thing? I hope you are getting the point I'm making.
I'm very much with you.
Have they not abused this thing? Even the ones, the political office holders that have come under the wing of our pastors, very big pastors, who go to their church meetings, go to different events that they hold, and recognize them publicly as their father. Are they not stealing government funds? So let El-Rufai go to the court and clear his name. If he wants to sue the Kaduna State government or the State House of Assembly, he should sue them. In fact, the El-Rufai case is so simple. Majority of the people who enabled him as governor to do what he's been accused of are still in the house. You know the legislature, they hold the purse of the government. All the bonds and the borrowings that he did. Even the current governor, when he was a senator, and El-Rufai tried to borrow money from the bank and raise bonds, and it was opposed, this same senator, this same governor, stood on the floor of the Senate and made a strong case for El-Rufai to get that money. Now, if he's saying the money had been stolen, then he has to confront El-Rufai with his evidence in the court. And I think El-Rufai should go to the court and clear his name and start talking about the swearing with the Quran.
Barrister, there is something that, that a lot of Nigerians keep wondering when it comes to the transparency and accountability of political office holders as well as public office holders. And that is, many a times we have heard and we still hear cases of these political leaders abusing power, abusing office, and doing all manner of things. And yes, we know that there could be some persons with good intention. However, like you said, that it's hard to find one out there that you can truly say this person is different. But in the light of the responsibility that is given to our political office holders, our public office holders, why is it so difficult that they take up to the responsibility? Why is it so difficult that our leaders who have the responsibility of serving us and giving us the highest level of accountability fall short of this responsibility? What could be the reason that is making every leader, even when they leave office and when they are still in office? We still have the case of Yahaya Bello, the former governor of Kogi State. In fact, the Senate president, we still have the case when he was the chair of the Niger Delta Development Council, and so many, even Senator Orji Uzor-Kalu. So many of them. Now, this is one too many, and there is a possibility that even the ones that are on seat right now, by the time they leave office, someone is going to be asking them questions. We know the case of Godwin Obaseki. By November, when he leaves, they're already setting the table for him. But the big question is, why can't our leaders look through the big picture, and tell themselves that this is what is expected of me and I must do it? Because, like they say, a good name is better than gold and silver.
Not in Nigeria anymore. Gold and silver is better than a good name. What are you doing with the name? No,
so should we begin to look at stricter punishments for people who don't believe in such values?
What is your name worth? What are you doing with the name? What has the name done for you? Gone are those days where the family name matters. Not anymore. In fact, today, if you occupy public office and you come out poor, they say you are not smart. You are a foolish man. You know, I told you people before that Nigerians don't hate corruption. What Nigerians hate is the fact that they are not the beneficiaries. They are direct beneficiaries of corruption.
Of corruption.
Yes. When they are, then they go to mosque and go to the church to give testimony about how God has blessed them. So, and that is why. Okay, let me give you a specific example. The current National Security Advisor, ᴏᴜᴜᴜ, was a champion when it comes to fighting corruption. In the
As the EFCC chairman. Yes.
Now, that same Ribadu has problem when they ganged up against him and he was removed. Ribadu was in the barrack for a long period of time. Some of the people that Ribadu openly indicted, they are his best political.
They are one political office or the other. Top positions.
And what has Ribadu done? Because Ribadu realized that you cannot fight in a country where people are in love with corruption. You cannot fight corruption. So he did a 360-degree turn, and today is one of them. What about Festus Keyamo? He kept fighting.
Very vocal. Very vocal when he was in the opposition.
And you recall how he was bundled from Lagos here in connection with the Bola Ige assassination investigation.
Very true.
When his brother Lucky came out and said he had tutored Prayo on what to say, that young man was bundled in the cold, thrown into an open pickup from Lagos to Abuja in the night. How many Nigerians spoke up for him? What about the case of Abu Muminu Jubril in the House of Reps, who came out to accuse the then speaker and the current chief of staff of the president and the current majority leader of the House, of fleecing the country of billions of naira? He was suspended for 1 year. Who stood behind him? What about Senator Alim Dume, who has been speaking about corruption? What happened?
I think about 2 days ago he still spoke about corruption. That's it's unfortunate the country has eaten so deep into it.
Yes. Now, and look at how the system has rewarded when it has as governor of the state, right? Look at all of them. Look at even some of the ministers. Today, if you finish serving in an office, either as governor or minister, and you have not been invited and indicted by the EFCC, you have not earned your badge of honor. To be corrupt in Nigeria now is a sin of honor. It's no longer a sin of shame. You know? And that is, look, I even told someone, even the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, at some point, I think he gave up fighting corruption because he thought that Nigerians were not interested in the fight. You know,
Nigerians place so much confidence in the former president, being that during his time in 1983, you know, he showed all signs of discipline, that he was ready to fight indiscipline. So Nigerians were so confident that when he comes in, things will change.
That was the military government. You see, when he came in, he showed flashes of some of these attributes he just talked about. One of the first things he did was when he found out that some of the top justices in this country were involved in one act of corruption or the other. You know, he got the DSS to raid their home. They found all kind of things, but of course they were all left off the hook by their colleagues.
But Barrister, do you remember he also placed ban on the importation of generator?
Toothpick and some other things. You know, and they said it was not sound economic policy. Do you understand what I'm saying? So every time a governor is former governor is picked up, if it's a Christian, the Christians will come out and say they are persecuting him because he's a Christian. Oh, and it's on the middle belt. That is why. You know, if you pick him from the north, the Muslims will come out and say, oh, is it because he's a Muslim? Is it the only thief? Now, and I've always asked this question. When did it become a defense for an accused person who is accused of stealing, when did it become a defense for him to say, I am not the only one who stole? How is that a defense? I mean, what you should be saying is, I did not steal. I think you have made a mistake by arresting me. All right? I did not steal.
And you prove it.
When it now becomes, I'm not the only one who stole, how come you are arresting only me? How is that a defense?
Interesting. Well, Barrister, let's take the last conversation. In case you're just joining us, this is Midweek Politics, and of course, I have Barrister Curtis Adigba with me. For those of you who are conversant with our programs, you always hear him live in the studio with Said Fuad during politics roundtable, political roundtable. So yes, it's via call that we are conversing. You get to see his handsome face, on our Facebook page right there. You can leave your comments. All right, leave your comments and do well to discuss or talk on any of the conversation or the issues that we've also raised, starting with the president's speech and then moving down into the issue of the youth confab that the president said he's going to put together for 30 days so that Nigerian youths will come together and assist in nation building or contribute to nation building. Also, we talked about the petroleum sector, specifically to the Port Harcourt refinery, that this is the 7th time now that we are witnessing failure in the rollout productivity of that particular refinery. Don't forget that we are promised that by September, just almost the same time that the Dangote refinery will be rolling out its own products, that the Port Harcourt refinery will be rolling out its own product. And this is 2nd of October. We haven't seen anything of such. What exactly is going on? How come no one has been called to order or punished for putting Nigeria through this kind of hardship? Because like they say, and which is true, this is our sole mainstay in the economy, which is what we use every day, everywhere. And also, we just talked about the issue of El Rufai and the Kaduna State House of Assembly, the accusation of 423 billion naira misappropriated during his administration when he was there in office for 8 years. We are also going to be looking lastly now on another conversation, which this time around it is about the PDP. And the PDP seems to be replying some of Wike's allies, letting them know that the PDP is not a one-man enterprise. Barrister, they say they have internal wrangling. They say no, they don't have internal wrangling. They tell them that you people have a lot of issues to sort out. They say we are sorting it out and we are going to be very, very okay. This is supposed to be the main opposition when it comes to political parties in Nigeria. Just in the last concluded election in Edo State, which is the off-cycle election, where a new governor, of course, Monday Okpebolo, is already gathering everything needed to ensure that he gets into office come November. The PDP was there, but they did not come close to winning that seat or retaining that seat. It was the APC that reclaimed it. But as it is right now, going with the PDP and all the shenanigans going on in Rivers State, it appears there is no end to all of the drama in Rivers State. Let's not forget that Fubara has instructed all of his foot soldiers defect to a different party entirely. APP, I think so. And Wike is saying, don't worry, we have what it takes to ensure that all of the governors supporting you will put fire in all of their state. Yes, we've heard other governors talking from that are PDP states that don't worry, we have enough water to quench your fire. And others are saying, Wike, keep your fire where you are. But this whole conversation of PDP not being a one-man enterprise governor, simply because the governor of Bauchi State has indicated at some point that yes, if not of the fact that he has a good interest or good, confidence in the future of Nigeria, he would have rather gone for the office of the president. But he would prefer Goodluck Jonathan, the former president, to come back. And if he does, he's going to drop his ambition. And this is what is citing this particular conversation here. And the PDP is replying, Wike allies, that this is not how it is. We don't run a one-man business. Yes, we have internal wrangling. But Barrister, quickly, because it's almost time for me to let you go. Do you see the PDP at any time sooner resolving their issues and being that main opposition party in Nigeria, as it were? Or this is still going to be the same of the same? They go up and about in circle, creating dust and confusions amongst themselves, and not having a thorough or proper direction in where they are supposed to go for their future.
Okay, so this is, I think you have to understand what is happening here. What is happening here is that those in power right now who do not want a strong and virile opposition will do all that it takes to keep the PDP in crisis. And with fairness to them, this was also what the PDP did to them.
Okay.
When the PDP was the party in power and was the dominant political party, they planned and orchestrated the impeachment and removal of party chairmen, right? When the APC was in opposition, the PDP administration got the DSS to raid their offices, accusing them of storing ballot papers and boxes. If you recall that, typical of our politics. But in the case of the PDP, the increasing personalization of the instrument of the party by the Minister of FCC, and because of the huge resources at his disposal that he now have access to as a result of his current portfolio, and rated as one of the top performers, and given the role that he played in the last election in Rivers State, right, Wike will continue to destabilize the party. No one that I know in recent times talks about integrity in politics more than Wike. But you only need to lift up Wike and to see that he, more than anyone, lacks more integrity than any other person in politics. You remember the things Wike said about the APC? Today, Wike is a political hermaphrodite. He's both a man and he's both a woman. At the same time.
It's neither here nor there.
Not there. Don't also forget that immediately after the nominating convention of the PDP, Wike gave a rousing speech when he said, I am going to stand behind the candidate of our party, no matter what it takes. I'm a true party man. I'm not going to leave this party. When he lobbied to be vice president and he did not get it, he instigated crisis after crisis within the party. He gave conditions that our people couldn't meet, because on the flip side, our governors who are saying, if you then bow to Wike, we're also going to abandon you. And that was what happened, and the PDP lost an election. And right now, the acting caretaker chairman, Damagu, we all know is Wike's progress. And that will tell you about the possible scenario that is going to play out in the Rivers State local government election. I don't know if you are aware that as at yesterday, a suit has been instituted in the Federal High Court in Abuja, asking that INEC be prevented from handing over register of voters to the Rivers State Electoral Commission that are going to conduct the election.
Very true.
Now, because without that, how would the State Electoral Commission conduct election in Rivers State? So when Wike tells you we have what it takes to deal with them, he knows what he's saying.
He has a central might, and that is really working out. Everything he says seems to be.
Apart from the central might,
okay,
Wike is so deeply entrenched in the judicial system. He has a way of working the judicial system to his advantage. And don't forget his right is the justice of the Court of Appeal. You recall the judgment that was given against the protest for hardship in Abuja came from someone that is closely associated with him too. So when these guys vote, don't take them for granted. They know what they are talking about. When Wike was governor, was anybody able to do anything like he's doing to Kubara to him? Now he tells you He made Fubara governor. Yes, perhaps he nominated him, but the votes of the people of Rivers State made him governor. Just like Odili appointed Wike as local government chairman, kept him in the politics of Rivers State. Odili's strategy, Amechi, appointed Wike as chief of staff, and former President Jonathan and his wife appointed him as minister. But you will see that all these people that helped Wike one way or the other, nobody is breathing down his neck like he's doing to others. So when he talks as if he's more powerful than the president of the country. He has called more press conferences than the president of the country. But I think he needs to learn from history that nobody has ownership of power. Power is transient. You may think that you have all the power today. Tomorrow, you will be so powerless that you begin to ask yourself, how did this even happen to me? And for a sitting minister in an administration in a democracy to be threatening open destabilization of other states just because they don't agree with his policies, and the president who hired him is listening and saying all these things, that's very sad. Meanwhile, when you come to the PDP, Bala Mohammed, of course, has never hidden his ambition to be president. In the last exercise, he was a candidate. In fact, the exercise that took place in Mina, in IBB's house, Bala Mohammed and Bukola Saraki were the ones listed by the party to move on with the contest. So, he is not a new player. However, we knew that Jonathan had appointed him to the powerful position of FCT in Abuja. So politically, he will always defer to Jonathan. But the whole idea that the only reason why Bala Mohammed is supporting Fubara is because he has his ambition to be president and he wants Fubara to run with him as
vice president. Yes.
It's laughable. It's indeed laughable but again, they have to hang on to something to be able to blackmail him. And let me ask you the question that I've always asked people and nobody has been able to give me a concrete answer. What do you think is the reason why Wike and Fubara are fighting?
I think we should be asking the people of Rivers State that particular question. They will be in the best position to give you the answer to that.
Because nobody, as I speak to you, not Fubara, not Wike, has come out to say, this is why we are fighting. The only thing we have heard is that nobody will take our structure away from us. And of course, you understand that the structure is actually a point of money disbursement in our politics.
Barrister, quickly, I was privy to have conversation with some persons in River State, and I asked them this same question you asked, but in a different way. Where do you think the pendulum will swing? Do you know what most of them say? They say they fully stand with the governor. They completely stand with the governor. Now, that is the people saying what they feel is okay for them. In light of everything that you have just said now, do you see the will of the people holding sway against a man that appears to be like the Lord of all in a state where he formerly governed and he has structure? Let's not forget we have some of his foot soldiers who are with him and still going to be with him. So from the other people there who believe that the governor has what it takes to take them through this next 4 years, of which he has said that up until the time he was appointed governor to February, 8 months, he didn't do anything. And we don't even know what he has done so far as it stands right now, except for asking some of his persons to go straight down to another party, in relation to the local government election that is coming. So with the people there and Governor Wike, how do you see this one play out?
In Nigeria, never take the words of the people for anything. They promised Obaseki they are going to stand by him. Some of them collected as much as 41,000 to stop standing by him. One of the problems that we have found in our politics today is that once you are elected to an office, right, you don't even need to serve the people. You don't even need to deliver. You don't even need to improve their living conditions. You don't need to do anything for them. Just build a huge war chest. When it is time for the election, go there and buy the vote. And that's, you see, when you talk to some politicians, they will tell you the only reason why we cannot use all the funds at our disposal to serve the people is that the same people will throw us out tomorrow when our opponents bring in money. So they go all the way to make enough money. You understand?
So it's all about who has the biggest war chests.
Yeah, the way they do it is to initiate projects that are not useful to the people. Look, not too long ago I was in Ekiti, and I saw the volume of traffic in Ekiti, and then I saw the overhead bridge in the state where people don't have pipe-borne water. Do you understand? And then you see the airport that was rushed in a state. How many flights go to Ekiti?
Misplaced projects.
So, because these big ticket projects are the projects that can actually bring out the kind of money that these people are looking for. So it's not about serving the people. It's about doing things that will bring them the big money. Because they know that they can also not rely on the people. And you know, I am praying that we will get to a point in our political evolution, where voters will be the ones that will start giving money to politicians to contest elections. Like you have right now in America, where individuals are contributing to the campaign. Because when you give people money to go and represent you, they can never turn against you. And when anybody gives you money, he will vote for you because he's committed already to the project. But what we have here is that it is the people who are contesting the election that have to look for money by hook or crook to come and buy the votes on election day. And once they get into power, they have to first of all recoup that money before they start thinking about the welfare and the living conditions of the people.
Barrister Curtis.
When you heard WG talking, you said, look, I bought forms, the party forms, for all that contested on the ticket of the PDP.
Yeah.
With my money. So he wants to control them. He wants them to be his robber. This is a man who does not know that times are changing daily in politics. He believes that he's both the FCC minister and the governor of the state.
Barrister Curtis, I want to say thank you very, very much. It's 1 hour already, and even beyond an hour that I said I was going to give to you because of your tight schedule. But we look forward to receiving you live in the studio come Sunday, because I'm certain between now and then, a lot would have been there for you on the table to discuss. So thank you very much for this opportunity once again.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
All right. Do enjoy the rest of your day, Barrister.
You too. Thanks.
All right. All right, that is Barrister Curtis Adigba right here, and we together have looked at some of the issues that we brought to the table. First was that of the president, and then we also looked at the youth confab that Mr. President said that is going to introduce, or rather, it will be putting together a youth conference with Nigerian youth so that we can talk or speak on the way forward for nation building. And then we moved away from that particular conversation to have a conversation on the petroleum sector, specifically to the Port Harcourt refinery. 7th time running, we are yet to see the refinery back to life. No revival or any sort has come to that particular refinery, and we are wondering what exactly is happening. How come no one has been called to order as regards these failed promises? And then we also talked about that of Falana writing to the contractors that they want answers, and the answers should be getting to the table of the senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, today. Hopefully, you got to react about that as well. And then lastly, the PDP issue in Rivers State. All right, I'll go on a very quick break. When I return, it will be time for me to start taking your calls. You have a lot to react on. On Facebook, we are still live there. I see some of your messages. Definitely, they will be read. On WhatsApp as well, those messages are going to be read. Text messages, they're all going to be read. When I return, I'll roll out the numbers and then you start calling. Don't forget, this is still Mainland 98.3 FM. The program is Midweek Politics. I'll be right back, people. Just a breather.
Crashing down is look up. Assemble the team. It's showtime. The brains waking up.
What'd you have for breakfast?
We are the sound of Lagos, and this is Mainland 98.3 FM.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Hey, Papa Solo, abeg come. Wetin be dis cholera wey dey talk?
Na so me sef hear am o.
I hear say Lagos state government talk say no be only vomit o. Even if you dey go toilet wey dey call diarrhea, that one sef na another symptom o. So aside from vomiting, if you dey go toilet and if you get fever, your body dey hot, na wetin Lagos state government talk o say be the symptoms o.
Make me sef just go ask my children whether dem sef dey get headache or whether dem get body temperature. Make me sef carry dem go hospital. Abeg o, no use cholera play o.
See make sure say the water wey you drink e dey clean. Your environment, you clean am well.
Abeg, try to wash your hand anytime when you use your toilet, and before you chop, clean your hand well o. This message now from Mainland 98.3 FM. Cholera disease, e real o.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
All right, you're welcome back. It's 15 minutes past 2 p.m. and the program you're listening to is Midweek Politics on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Victor Achibong. I remember I told you that Okpeyemi is not on seats today himself, and Said Fuad, yes, out on official assignment. Don't worry, you're going to see them in full flesh body next week. Yes, hopefully, but even before next week, yeah, you're going to see them. You're going to hear them as well. But of course, it's time for you to talk. It's time for you to be a part of the conversation. Like I said, the phone lines are open on 09136300410. If you're calling, call the number 09136000410. Now, if it is WhatsApp message or text message, do that to 09136000430. That's for WhatsApp. To the lines and start picking your calls. You talk to me. Each person has got 2 minutes. We'll take you and you talk to us. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Victor.
Thank you very much, Ufoma.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Happy Independence in Arias. We didn't say it yesterday.
Yes, thank you. For Independence, we did not put smile on our face. I follow your, it's always lovely to have the barrister each time you have it on your program.
Absolutely.
Nothing to add with every single analysis we have made. Number one, the president's speech yesterday shows our capacity. Do you know that many people did not pay attention to it? Likewise me, because we not bring anything on the table. Now, looking at the youth, 100 youth they are trying to, is it confab or what?
A youth conference, a confab?
okay, it's a youth conference. As very sad as, and also have it in mind, it's just going to be among the APC politics, even if they are going to invite other youth who are not political members. It just goes to be under a power vessel before those who can be attended this conference. Looking at, we did not need this conference. We did not need it at all. Now, if I may, the comfort that Jonathan did he even refer to it? When this president came in, he was able to organize a committee which Alego Danko and Femi Otedola. As what is the outcome of that meeting? What is the we cannot be having committee all of that did not bring up results. Now let's go back to the issue of PDP. By 2026, PDP will solve themselves out. Let's just look all the drama they are playing now. Even though the Fubara and BK, thank God that Fubara, as I said the last is see what Fubara is doing now. He are going to another particular why still remain in PDP. By 2026, let
me call you Prophet Ufoma. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your submission. All right, let's go to another conversation and hear who is with us here. Good afternoon.
Victor.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon to you.
All right, thank you. This must be Don Peter.
Yes.
All right.
Don't tell me happy independence.
Okay.
I will only celebrate your station for your anniversary. That is what I'm happy about.
Thank you.
That is what I celebrate.
Thank you.
Because you guys are touching life in a positive way and you are dishing out good information. As a matter of fact, you guys have contributed so much on nation building. You have set an agenda, very good agenda for us. So I celebrate you people. Please mute the other one. Hold it to yourself.
We are humbled anyway. We are humbled. As Nigerians, we are. Let's go, Don Peter.
Victor, is it not laughable? Somebody said he's setting up a youth conference. But in all honesty, do you need a youth conference to know that the refinery should be working? You need a youth conference to know that you should make a neighboring environment so that the business can thrive. We are told that this man is a master strategist, but obviously he's not disappointing us. We that never believed in him, when we say this man is not a master strategist anything, that is a very empty and overhyped man. And exactly what we said is exactly what is happening right now. You telling me you want to waste taxpayers' money for 30 days on a conference is laughable. Instead, let him consult me. I will tell him what to do and what the problems are, which I will tell him, Oga, can you begin to pull people out of poverty so that the insecurity can reduce in Nigeria? Can you make an enabling environment so that the foreign investors can just come naturally? Can there be sincerity of purpose in your governance so that the whole Nigeria can just be okay? Can you stop playing politics? Because you don't need all this jamboree of you want to gather the youth to gag them to support you for 2027. That is exactly what he wants to do because that the political survival depends on it. That's just the truth. Him telling me that he wants to gather the youth to tell him to set an agenda is a waste of time. If he just consult me, I will tell him what to do.
All right.
Free of charge, though, because I'm a very patriotic Nigerian. So
Thank you.
He shouldn't be wasting our time. He has nothing to offer. That's just the truth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Don Peter, for your thoughts. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, please. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Victor.
Your name?
My name is Chris. I'm calling from Ogudu.
All right, Chris Obogudu, welcome to the show. Talk to us on what you think.
I just want to correct one impression. I heard earlier on that you said the reason why Nigeria believes in Buhari is because what he did in 1983. That wasn't Buhari. That was Ndiagbon.
Okay, thank you for that.
Ndiagbon was the one in charge of that government.
Thank you.
And even when they wanted to overthrow, it was the Diagbon that was out of the country before they could overthrow him. Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm with you. Thank you.
Okay. So on the issues of Baba trying to gather the youth, is APC youth that he want to gather? Who will not give a vote of confidence the way the past president gave a vote of confidence before? It's not Nigerian youth. When this man protest against Jonathan in 2012, what happened? Jonathan revived the issues of fuel subsidy. Can he not revive the issues of fuel? He knows the problem of this country. Must we gather you before we solve our problem? This is just my submission this afternoon. God bless you.
All right, Chris from Ogudu. Appreciate. Thank you very much. Okay, we're still right here. Let's see who we have here. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello?
I can hear you, sir. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hello?
All right. You need to talk to your network. That is why. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Victor.
Thank you very much. Name and where you're calling from?
My name is Lawal Taufik. I'm calling from Sulu.
Lawal Taufik. You're welcome. Happy independence to Nigeria and to us.
Happy independence to Mainland FM.
Yes. We're celebrating 3 years.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Appreciate
God bless you, able.
Amen.
My dear brother, vice staff visitors, even Don Peter visitors, they don't need any youth. They don't start their government arrangement again. They are planning to win next communal election. That will concern youth, concern Nigeria. If that way we want to go, so be it. Those are swearing with the Quran. No way Almighty Allah command able to swear with the Quran. It's a pure lie. He only swear with all the only name of Almighty Allah. That's what all God said. All those ones, propaganda, they don't do with themselves.
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Victor.
Thank you very much and welcome to the show, Midweek Politics. The name and where you're calling from?
Right, this is Mr. Sars calling from Journalist Estate.
All right, Mr. Sars, you're welcome.
God, and Okpe is not around today.
No, they are not. It's not payback for last week.
All right, okay. All right, you see, somebody called and corrected some certain impression that why Buhari was cutting in was when a military stop. Actually, what the person told you is the truth. It wasn't Buhari, it was the Diagbon, the late Diagbon. And it was the powers that, corrupt powers that in the country that lure Diagbon out. Because the Diagbon refused to grant press interview after that overthrow. And it was one of the, it was said that the late MKO was used to lure Diagbon to travel out. You know, what goes around comes around. To travel out. And that was why, because if Diagbon were to be in country, Babangida wouldn't have succeeded. I was in the media then. Then, talking about the current president, his other name is Babasope Jeko. Look at the people he takes in SPD and whatever. Then, you find majority of them as a dropout, just because they are praise worshippers. He put them in position. They just make him as what Lagos country. They say, Jeko Wambe. They don't care, just bring a name. Babadi. Look at what he's doing in the country. What is youth stuff? That's a gimmick to deceive. In a nutshell, this is somebody who said, grab it, snatch it, and run with it. So of course, we know, and then abracadabra, the so-called INEC chairman say go to court. We know nobody did win election. We are not fools. He's nobody. In fact, a lot of it. Well, I think he ran away during Abacha. What he knows how to do best.
All right. Thank
People
you.
are not fools. He can't fool us too much anymore. Thanks very much. Keep up the good.
Appreciate. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
You're welcome. How you doing today, sir?
Yeah, AB Pepe them speaking from Sulu.
All right, AB Pepe them, talk to us.
everybody knows that Jagaban fought for this democracy. So there is no issue about that he ran away from Abacha. They're concerning a wiki. See, Nigeria has a problem. That's why Obasanjo said something the other time. He said that we don't appreciate our past leaders. When someone do something for you, you appreciate. PDP was dead 2015. This man stood alone. Wiki. He fought for Secondus, that 2015, where EFCC was pursuing him. He fought for PDP's soul. And in fact, we that we are APC supporters, but we are praying then that PDP is scattered. But we were surprised. This man, Wiki, he fought this man in tennis now, Jimoh Ibrahim. He fought Alimadu Sheriff. Okay? To make sure PDP stand. Then, Atiku, all of them, Sarachi, all the big weeks in PDP, they've left PDP, they are in APC. So, that is why they cannot do anything to me. You understand? I told your people the other time that Nike is a politician. Before all this issue happened about the 27 law, I see what's happening. At the end, on Saturday, we are going to see what's going to happen.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Right. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Prince Wires.
How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, sir.
Okay. You see, number one, the youth confirm. I'm in support of it. We've been having conference before the war for Obasanjo period, the one of Jonathan time. If we have just youth, all of their youth, to bring the after they submit their report, there's matches with the Obasanjo time, the Jonathan time, matching together and let it be our constitution. So that concept will be a very solid one because it consists the older ones and the youth. That's for that. And for the PDP and Wike, if the PDP had the guts, the best thing to do is to tax Wike after PDP. But they are really FIFA, they can't do it. If they can't do it, why we blame Wike? For me, Wike is serving Nigeria. He takes permission from his party before taking that appointment. If some people now supporting Ubara for me, is in a serious politician. If our Ubara, I continue working for my people, but she's talking. No commission of any project. The weekend commission project in Abuja.
All right, thank you.
Today is the weekend.
Thank you.
I never said a minute too. I never said a minute.
Praise
Let me round up.
Yeah, round up.
So for me, Wike is serving the country and let Wike alone and let him serve Nigeria and he's serving Nigeria to the best of his ability. And we love him very dearly. So good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much, Prince Wise. Let me go to Facebook. All right, let me do WhatsApp. I'll read some messages and I will come back to the calls. Okay, I can see your calls coming in. Please just bear with me. This one is saying, good afternoon, Mainland FM. I am Mr. Julius from ᴑᴜᴜ concerning the issue on ground about the president's speech and plan for youth conference is nothing but a ploy to gather more youths for himself and APC or a whole for 2027 election. If it's just to ensure it gets all youths to become APC carrying members of 2027 and beyond. Thus, in essence, it's diversionary tactics, deceitful tactics, which is a common practice of APC government to embezzle funds. Nothing positive will come out of this plan. Copious. Thanks. Thank you very much. That is coming from Julius from ᴑᴜᴜ. All right, we have another one here. This one says, good afternoon, presenter Olamilekon from Lagos. For the youth conference, like Barrister Adigba said, it's for APC youths, loyalists that they use in both 2023 election and the present Edo election. Like they say, loyalty na cash and carrying. Objection na mortuary. Everybody get agenda with their mercenary enterprise. Remember those that they use for their campaign All right, then fake posters or fake pastors and bishops that they gave money to. Also counter protests against and bad governance, so that okay, so this is more or less government of waste by waste for waste, because he is fighting seriously for legitimacy, courting the cash and carry INEC and judiciary. It's a shame. The worst of us is ruling the best of us. Truly, there was a country. All right, thank you very much, Olamiliko, for your thoughts there. Let's look at this other message and what this particular person is saying. He's saying, good afternoon. Look, it seems that every contributions are becoming mere letter writing and the cowardice of armed robbers. The answers to the annoying questions and contributions cannot be said or cannot be said anymore to be directed at and critical of the usurpers of the people's democratic mandates while remaining supportive of the people. The people are now the ones attacking, criticizing, and pallorring themselves instead of the other way around. Are the beneficiaries of this type of education letter writers or armed robbers? To be honest, Tochukwu Adele Thompson from Obanikoro. I wish I can really piece this together, but thank you for your contribution. I appreciate you. More calls or more comments rather on WhatsApp. This one says, good afternoon. Don't put an eye on this side because it's part of the problem that we have in this country. Nothing coins. Okay, so I have difficulty in piecing this together as well. Thank you very much. This one says 64 years of God's favor, goodness and mercy. But APC under Tinubu ruined the whole 64 years of a land flowing with milk and honey in 1 year and brought hunger, bitterness, sorrow, tears and blood to Nigerians. APCs are liars, clueless, selfish, and he said, may this evil not happen to us again in 2027. All right, thank you very much, Jonathan, calling or rather making that statement from Magboro City. I appreciate you. I look at this other one here. This one says, hello, Victor. Well, as for me, the youth conference is food for the boys, and it is for those that voted Tinubu into power that it wants to compensate. And let me tell you, all the Nigerian youth have open eyes, and nothing for them is this time around in 2027. I believe. Thank you. My name is Dampi. Okay, this is Dampi from Igandu. All right, thank you, Dampi from Igandu. Another one just dropped here now. This one says here, it's quite a long read. But I will take it one by one as it is coming. Good afternoon, presenter. This is okay. I think I've read this one before. Thank you very much. This one is saying, I am Dennis from Ikorodu. They are planning on a national conference for the youth, and he then did an emoji of clapping his hand, clapping for APC that have refused to implement the last confab report and other reports that have been done. What's the guarantee of implementing another one? Even INEC electoral reform have not been implemented. They should continue. Another one people should deliberate on. You didn't put your name, quite unfortunate. You did not put your name. This one is saying, greetings to you, Mr. Victor. Where in the world would a reasonable government run a conference for 30 days? Do you know how many billions of naira would be funded for this conference? Please, these people have to think well because they don't have pity for Nigerians. These are tax money that is being spent. It is a pity these people don't think, and it is a food for the boys, or it is food for the boys. That is all I have to say. APC supporters should please come out and tell us Tinubu has done, or tell us what Tinubu has done. He said, my name is Daniel. Thank you very much, Daniel. I'll go back to the phone lines, 091 36,000.
And you see some people call
Okay,
Mr. Sars. He was just their
Thank you.
children.
Yes.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, it's Koboko.
Oh.
Arrested. Ambori for them. Are you hearing me?
Go ahead, Kubuku. I can hear you, Kubuku.
Thank you. This confab is useless as a cake.
Okay.
We should carry on go back to May 28, 2023, people are dying. Are you hearing me? This is to settle the people that voted in us.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, please. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Madam Ifi.
Oh, Madam Ifi, how you doing today, ma?
Thank you.
How your body? The body they gather well again, Abi?
I never forgot.
To God be the glory. Talk to us, Madam Ifi. Talk to us.
People ran away to London until when Abacha died before he came back. So nobody should come here and say he ran away. So they were advocates. It was when they wanted to arrest that they ran away. So it's so small here. They said not run away. They were about to forget to. Two, this confirm. There's no list. These children are giving you list of 15 items that they want you to attend to. Even try and attend to 5 first. This one you didn't attend to it, you go and do broadcasting, you don't attend to what these children are asking for. Look at Ruto. You want to put the kid immediately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They took the speech for him. But you can't say anything. And you want them to keep quiet. They're coming, bringing confirm so that you will do some of their money and they say that, yeah, make them at the go. Now not disturb me. You don't do things like that. It's a parent. That's what we say. We shall feel like a day. Whether it was stop and call people, Labour people, APC people, APC people from doing local government election. We will see whether we can figure that Supreme Court. We said all local government in Nigeria, all states will conduct a local government election. We shall see.
Thank you.
If it's like that, then I will not have the president for my president.
Thank you very much,
But
Madam Ifi.
he has conducted 1 million interviews more than the president. What kind of human being is that? And the president is looking at it. Then they're responding your government. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Madam Ifi. I appreciate you for calling. And yes, Madam Ifi, we wish you speedy recovery. Always a passionate Nigerian. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, you do allow me to finish my 1 minute.
45 seconds. 45 seconds. AB Pepe them.
All right.
45 seconds.
All right. When Tinubu came back to Lagos State, he became governor without contested primary. Do you know why? It was a compensation for what he did. Obi was with Abacha working with him while this man was fighting for the Tinubu did not contest primary in the first time. He was given free. So when we are talking, we know you can be in media and you don't have the right idea. We in the insider we know what happened.
Thank you. Thank you. That's 45 seconds for you. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, please, your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Lucky from Yanakbaja.
All right. Did you say Lucky?
Lucky, yes, I'm Lucky.
All right, Lucky from Yanakbaja.
I used to chat my sister Ifi. I don't think they're not supposed to. That guy that talk, I don't think for me. Everybody
let's not attack people here. Let's just talk about it.
I think people like that they are too educated to judge themselves with people like that.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Appreciate. Let me take more messages here. This one is saying, good afternoon, Oga Victor. I pray to Almighty God not to witness this search of administration again. This current one are evil of this country. Rahim from Agege. Thank you, Rahim from Agege. I moved to Facebook. This one is saying here on Facebook, good afternoon, Mr. Victor and Barrister. The president has finally lost it by talking about youth confab when the youth is supposed to interact with are being charged with treason. He would just gather APC youth and call it youth confab. His yesterday's speech did not address any issue. It was just like a campaign speech on the refinery. About the refineries, he said they are just deceiving themselves. Those refineries will not work. Thank you very much. That is coming from John Bernard Oyi. Appreciate you, John Bernard Oyi. Now, and Bernard also said the president calling for national youth confab shows that he has lost it. Okay, I think that's a repeat. You sent it twice. Thank you so much. Stephen Nwabweze says, good afternoon, Mr. Victor. I celebrate Mainland FM, Barrister Curtis. As usual, I enjoy your submissions. On national issues, my name is Stephen Nwabweze from Badagry. My observation is that in Nigeria, if you are not corrupt enough, you are not qualified for further governmental appointment. Unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves. Thank you very much, Nwabuzi, for that. This one here is saying, good afternoon and happy Independence Day, and wishing your radio station happy 3rd anniversary. Quite unfortunate that the program of today was in full house, but seems most listeners are intact. Well, from the picture you just painted, your guest painted, yes, Barrister Curtis, I am a little bit flabbergasted with his personal views on series of events, especially with the President's Tinubu speech. I am seriously not happy with Barrister Curtis, but remember that the party finishing this message, let me pick it up very well, but that's party in Buhari regime that Tinubu was allowed both in party exco and government executive meeting. I am really unhappy. I am really unhappy that Barrister Curtis Adigba mentioned that Tinubu have hand in the nomination of minister to Buhari. Secondly, is quite parochial that Barrister Curtis Adigba mentioned that the proposed youth-centric or youth confer proposed by the president that Tinubu have first-hand registered 4 classes of people any day, anytime, and anywhere is so desires. Lastly, President Tinubu have no power in the running of NNPCL Limited. NNPCL, because is now commercial. All right, thank you very much for that. Quite a long one. Sometimes it's always good like this when you have you have a different opinion, but it's still your opinion. Atonda Kayode Samuel, appreciate you for that. Oluwale Sunday is just dropping this one here and it says more power. Appreciate you. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay, better. Turn down the volume on your radio set.
Yeah, I've done that already. Happy 3rd anniversary of Mainland FM.
Thank you very much.
And happy independence to matter what, I want to say happy independence for Nigeria.
Yes, we are 64 years old today. Thank you.
64, yes. It's good to have freedom no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see,
what's your name? Lagos. What's your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Prince from Ojo in Lagos.
Prince from Ojo in Lagos. Talk to me, Prince from Ojo.
I've lived in Lagos for about 50 years now, and I witnessed different governments that have come and gone. Right? I don't show any sense of bias. I show things straight the way I look at them, because our people have an adage that says a good day will start with sunshine, bright sunshine. They are going to be good. I'm a consultant. And when I do an extrapolation on my own into the future of the present government, I don't see anything so good going out of it. Right? And you may say, why do I say so? But if I ask you, you are a citizen journalist, don't you think it's time for Nigeria to have a new constitution? What do you think about it?
I'm listening to you.
Yes. Personally, I think that Nigeria is overdue for a new constitution, such that the federating unit that make up this country, about the 6 geopolitical zones, should come together and say how they want to be governed. Not looking for how to make the government good or bad. Because you may not change the devil, you may not change Satan to become an angel of God, no, something like that. But I feel that at a time like this, the federating unit will come together, the Ohanese, the Afenifere, and all the rest of it, and say how they want their people to be governed, so that a few people will not enslave this country. Nigeria will be great, not matter what's going on now, but it's my belief, because we have all it takes in this country to will be a world power, a great nation, both in terms of both economically or politically. But not minding that we have all this bad leadership is the problem we are facing.
All right.
And
thank you, Prince. Thank you very much, Prince from Ojo. Thank you so much. That's your time. That's your time. All right, let's read this particular one here. This is a message coming to us. This is quite long. Okay, this is quite okay. The first one I think is an independence celebration dwindled from 2015 when terrorists invaded the north. What is Tinubu calling youth confab? He should realize, okay, end SARS and end bad governance protesters. Really finding it a bit tough to piece your message together. Thank you very much for that anyway. Let's see if I have another one here. This one is definitely not from me. All right, still on 09136000410 and also your WhatsApp messages. Looking at all of the stories that we have brought together here today. Like I said, your opinion also matters. So it's not about Barrister Adiba. All right, your opinion also matters. Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello, good afternoon.
Your name?
David, I'm calling from Ikeja.
David from Ikeja. All right, David from Ikeja, talk to me.
After independence.
To Nigeria? Yes.
To Nigeria. My contribution is that there is nothing is going to come out from here. What we have in office are take them from up to down. They are all armed robbers. There is nothing that Nigeria is going to get from this government and propaganda, telling lies.
All right, thank you very much. Sometimes we just have to be very mindful of the kind of words we use, especially when you don't have any sort of proof to back what you're saying. It's very important. It's very important. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Victor Achibo.
I am the one. And who am I speaking with?
Yeah, this is Dan P.
All right, Dan P. Don't tell me you're calling from Niger State. Am I correct?
No, I'm back.
You're back. Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, talk to us, Dan P. And
let me tell you something. A grandmother of 64 that has millions of children scattered around. Now the mother cannot breathe. The mother have no place to sleep. Fire on the mountain every day, everywhere. So how will this mother going to succeed? And you won't?
Wow. Oh, Dan P. I don't know what happened there. Maybe they're just telling you this is Lagos because you are back to Lagos. All right. Try and call back if you can, as I still have some few more minutes before I get out of the studio. We are looking at all of the topics that we just brought before you here. And your reactions are eminent, very, very eminent. I was saying that, yes, your views are highly welcome, highly, highly welcome. Hello, good afternoon.
Victor.
Yes, Dan P, is that you?
Yes.
Welcome back.
Yes. Now, I said that a grandmother of 64 years has many children scattered around. The mother, they stole the house, fire everywhere. Insecurity, no farm, and you are telling me to celebrate my grandmother 64 years. Is it possible? It's not possible. We are not saying this is not a matter of APC or PDP. What have these government done? Let's be sincere. The sufferation is too much. You are going up and down looking for investors. Millions of multinational companies in Nigeria. Thousands of them have run away, and you are going to beg them to come back. You borrowed money, and you are telling them to forgive you. Now you say you want to do the youth conference. Do you know how many billion they will use to fund it? Why can't this man bring back subsidy for the fuel to stabilize the country? This operation is too much. God, I beg, fast forward 2027. We know what will happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan P. That's the prayer on the lips of a lot of persons, hoping that 2027 will be here as quick as possible. But that is only subject to you having your PVC with you and also coming out to exercise your franchise. You see, it is something a lot of persons keep saying. And for some persons, it is believed that some other persons will be denied. But the truth of the matter is, if we are going to get a desired result at the end of the day in all of our doings, especially when it comes to when it has to do with election, then it means that we will all have to go out, if we have come of age and we have our PVC with us, go cast our vote for the candidates of our choice. Well, the president has given the speech, and we only wait to see how the president is going to execute all he has said. Because looking at it, I didn't hear any figure. I did not see any figure. But I categorically heard that the president has promised, just the same way he has been promising, that things will turn around, asking Nigerians to endure a little more, because the economic reforms that they have put in place are already yielding the much needed results. And from all indication, there is, and we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I want to say that it is important that whoever that is sending messages to Mr. President, please let them know about the real clamor of Nigerians, what Nigerians are asking for. Every day people call on the radio show, the radio program, and even on television program, contribute on social media. They should just take the right information to Mr. President, so that Mr. President will address the right issues as it affects the people. Thank you so much to everyone that joined in the conversation today via call, WhatsApp message, Facebook, as well as text messages. More calls are still coming in, but my time is telling me it's time to leave the studio. But I must say thank you very much to the engineers, and also thank you to the production team, not forgetting Mr. Tᴏɪᴛᴛᴇʀ as well as Said Fuad for putting all of this together, and our guest, Barrister Curtis Adigba, who joined us for 1 hour analyzing some of these issues. We're going to be having more conversation by 4 p.m. Sage Babalola is going to be back into the situation room. You need to be around to listen to Sage Babalola from that time, 4 p.m. to 5:30 on the situation room. But before then, Buzz, or the Buzz with Jaden and BB, will be taking your airwaves from 3 p.m. all the way to 4 p.m. We have so much lined up for you on mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. And of course, once again, happy 3rd anniversary to the radio station that gives you nothing but the sound of Lagos. Of course, we are mainland 98.3 FM. Good afternoon and enjoy your day. But don't change the dial from this frequency, 98.3